A man must always hide these 8 things from a woman. Stoicism. There was once a woman who thought love would save her. In the beginning, every word from the man she loved felt like sunlight, every glance like warmth on her skin. But slowly, she realized how much of herself she had handed over. When he was kind, her heart soared. When he was cold, her spirit broke. Her peace rose and fell with his moods. And one day, she asked herself a painful question: why does my happiness belong to someone else? That question became the start of her transformation. The ancient Stoics had lived through wars, betrayals, slavery, exile, and loss. They understood what it meant to suffer. And yet, they did not teach people to run from pain. They taught them to turn it into power. Epictetus, once a slave, reminded his students, "You may not control what others do, but you always control how you respond." The woman began to see her heartbreak differently. It was not proof that she was weak. It was an invitation to grow stronger. Soon, another trial came. She worked hard in her career, but one failure brought whispers behind her back. People she trusted doubted her, and their doubts stung deeply. She wanted to defend herself, to beg for understanding, to explain. But she remembered Marcus Aurelius, who wrote to himself, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." So instead of drowning in shame, she chose silence. She chose patience. She let her actions, not her explanations, prove her worth. In time, the same people who doubted her saw her rise again. But Stoicism did not only teach her strength against betrayal or failure. It also taught her how to love more deeply. Seneca once said, "When you kiss your child, whisper to yourself, they may not be here tomorrow." At first, this teaching frightened her. But slowly, she understood. Life's fragility is not a curse, but a gift. To remember how temporary everything is, makes every embrace sacred. Every word of kindness becomes urgent. Every shared laugh becomes a treasure. She stopped clinging out of fear. Instead, she cherished out of love. The greatest enemy she faced, however, was not betrayal, or loss, or failure. It was herself, the voice inside that whispered, "You are not enough. You are broken. You are weak." But here, too, the Stoics offered a light. They said the mind is like a garden. If you water fear and doubt, they will grow like weeds. But if you plant seeds of courage, gratitude, and discipline, those will grow instead. Each morning, she began with a question the Stoics often asked themselves: what is in my control today? Not tomorrow. Not 10 years from now. Just today. And the answer was always the same: her thoughts, her actions, her choices. That was enough. Little by little, her pain transformed. What once crushed her became her foundation. She realized that true strength was never about avoiding suffering. True strength was about facing it, owning it, and shaping it into wisdom. This is Stoicism for women. It does not ask you to be cold. It does not tell you to stop loving or to stop feeling. It teaches you to love without chains, to feel without drowning, to live without fear. Your pain can break you, or it can build you. Your silence can be despair, or it can be power. Your life can be ruled by what happens to you, or by how you choose to meet it. The Stoics never promised an easy life. But they showed us how to create a meaningful one. A life where pain becomes a teacher. Where heartbreak becomes resilience. Where loss becomes love sharpened by gratitude. And so the woman who once carried her pain like stones in her pockets no longer walked with heaviness. She walked with fire. Her suffering had not disappeared. But it had changed shape. It had become her strength. There was once a man who learned, through hardship and reflection, that the world outside him was never truly in his hands. People changed, circumstances shifted, fortune rose and fell like the tides. He realized he could not command the winds, but he could always steady the sails. His control was not over the storms of life, but over his judgments, his choices, and the way he met each moment. This was the wisdom of the Stoics, and it guided how he lived. His dreams burned quietly within him. Unlike others who boasted of their plans or chased applause, he understood that dreams lose their strength when they are given away too soon. He treated his ambitions like seeds beneath the earth, hidden but alive, nurtured in silence until they grew strong enough to be seen. To share them carelessly would invite misunderstanding or doubt, and he knew the weight of another's opinion could crush what had not yet taken root. So he carried his dreams close, not out of secrecy but out of respect for their fragility. His fulfillment did not come from recognition or praise but from knowing he was building something real, step by steady step, in harmony with his values. He also knew the power of feelings. Like all men, he felt anger, joy, grief, and desire. But he did not allow them to sweep him away. He watched them as one watches waves on the shore, acknowledging their force, but never letting them pull him under. Anger knocked at his door, but he chose not to invite it in. Grief touched him, but he did not let it hollow him out. Even love, which he cherished deeply, he held with balance, never clinging so tightly that it became possession. To others, he seemed unshakable, but in truth he simply mastered the art of listening to his emotions without becoming their slave. There were parts of his soul he kept hidden, not from fear but from dignity. Every man carries secrets, some carved by wounds of the past, some shaped by private thoughts too sacred to expose. He did not scatter these pieces of himself recklessly, for he knew that privacy is not deception, it is strength. He spoke carefully, never indulging in gossip, never betraying another's trust, never giving away more of himself than was wise. Those who knew him felt safe in his presence, because they sensed that what was said in confidence would never be spoken again. His silence was not emptiness but a shield, guarding the sacredness of both his life and the lives of others. And then there was his pain. He had suffered losses, endured betrayals, walked through dark nights that seemed endless. But he refused to let these wounds turn him bitter or broken. He did not wear his pain on his sleeve, begging for pity or recognition. Instead, he carried it with quiet strength, like a soldier who knows scars are not shame but proof of survival. Each hardship became a lesson, a chance to grow stronger, calmer, more resilient. Where others cried, "Why me?" he asked, "What can I learn?" His suffering became not a chain but a forge, shaping him into someone greater than before. In this way, he lived, a man with dreams unspoken, feelings mastered, secrets guarded, and pains endured. He was not untouched by life's chaos, but he walked through it with calm eyes and steady hands. His story was a reminder of an old truth: you cannot command the world, but you can always command yourself. And in that mastery lies freedom, strength, and the quiet power of a life well lived. When pain comes into a man's life, he does not let it control his mood or behavior. Instead, he meets it with patience and courage. Stoicism teaches that carrying hardships with dignity is not weakness, it is strength. A Stoic man accepts this truth. He chooses to face pain with endurance, and even with a sense of calm joy, because he knows every difficulty is a test of character. He does not complain or seek pity. Instead, he bears pain quietly, with gratitude, knowing that suffering can shape him into someone stronger. This is not because he enjoys pain, but because he understands that every challenge can be turned into growth. Where others cry out for comfort, he stands firm. Where others see punishment, he sees an opportunity to build resilience. Seneca once said, "Fire tests gold, and misfortune tests brave men." Just as flames reveal the purity of metal, life's struggles reveal the strength of one's soul. The Stoic man welcomes this test. He carries his pain without bitterness, proving his strength not by words, but by his calm endurance. In the same way, his view of pleasure is also balanced. To him, pleasure is not evil, but it is dangerous if it controls him. He enjoys life's gifts, but never in excess. He understands that pleasure is temporary and that chasing it blindly leads only to disappointment. Instead of indulging recklessly, he practices moderation. He can enjoy good food, companionship, or beauty, but he never allows these things to become chains. His freedom lies in self-control, not in overindulgence. Epictetus taught, freedom is not gained by satisfying desires, but by controlling them. The Stoic man lives by this. He does not crave pleasures, he uses them wisely. His joy does not depend on excess, but on gratitude for what he has. Love, too, is guided by reason and strength. For him, love is not about losing himself in another, but about sharing respect, dignity, and balance. He loves deeply, but never with blind attachment. He gives love freely, but without clinging or demanding. His love is shown in his actions, kindness, loyalty, patience, not just in words. He values love as a gift, not as a possession. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the true measure of a man is whether he keeps his virtue in all situations. Even in love, the Stoic man remains grounded. He does not let emotions lead him to weakness or compromise his principles. His love is strong because it is both tender and rational, affectionate yet independent. These are the hidden strengths of the Stoic man, his way of carrying pain, moderating pleasure, and expressing love with wisdom. Hiding these things does not mean being cold or distant. It means guarding what is sacred, living with dignity, and revealing true character through actions. By doing so, he shows his courage, wisdom, strength, and integrity. This is the Stoic way of living and loving. It is not easy, but it is noble. It does not seek popularity, but truth. And for those who embrace it, it brings inner peace and unshakable strength.